What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. So let's go ahead and get down. And I want to start off this video by talking about Reid and the fact that he actually settled his lawsuit with Drew Dixon on the day that the trial actually was set to begin, which was January the 12th. Now, just to refresh y'all's memory, Drew sued Reid back in November of 2023 for SA, unwanted kissing, so forth and so on. Everything that falls under the umbrella of being SA'd, she sued him for. Now, even though this transpired many years ago, Drew was absolutely fortunate because she was able to file her lawsuit under the New York's Adult Survivors Act, which means that you can go back many years, decades, or whatever the case may be to hold somebody accountable for violating you in that manner. Now, Drew says as a result of her turning Reid down on a multitude of occasions back in the day, it really affected her work because she was working as an A&R for Arista Records, and basically he blocked the signing that she was supposed to conduct with John Legend, and John Legend was set to testify this past Monday against Reid, right? Now, before I play the video of Drew and her lawyers and her family talking about this situation outside of a courthouse, it seems, I want to ask you guys, if you don't mind, to go ahead and like this video, also share this video, and if you want to follow me on the gram to get a more connected experience, you can do so at Carolina Crush TV. Now, in this clip, you'll see Drew Dixon just grinning from ear to ear, and I'm going to tell you after I play the clip the amount that I heard that she got from LA. It's all alleged, but at the end of the day, it's a pretty considerable amount. So check out the clip and I'll be back.
We're happy to report that a settlement has been reached, the terms of which are confidential. Drew Dixon is an extraordinarily talented music executive, and this resolution will empower her to move forward with her creative pursuits on her own terms, with her reputation, her voice, and her career reaffirmed. Drew has been one of the most courageous and outspoken supporters of survivors of sex. Her advocacy, including her instrumental role in advancing the Adult Survivors Act, has helped shift the power balance in the music industry and create a path to justice for survivors.
I hope my work as an advocate for the Adult Survivors Act helps to bring all of us closer to a music business that is safer for everyone. And in a world where good news is often hard to find, I hope that survivors today see a ray of light peeking through the clouds. I just hope that survivors, keep pushing for dignity and justice. And frankly, I'm excited to get back to making music.
All right, so shout out to Drew Dixon, her lawyer, and also her family. They seem to be in great spirits out there. Now, I'm hearing that Drew Dixon actually got about $10 to $15 million as it pertains to this settlement. That's the number that was passed down to me, but I'm still going to say allegedly. Now, as far as Reid goes, his lawyer spoke out and said, just because Reid settled does not mean that there is an admission of guilt here, but I don't know. When it comes to cases like that, I just personally feel,
because this not a good look, bitch.
But anyway, let's move along, and I want to talk about Diddy, and I'm so upset with my plug because he communicated this information, but he also told me not to put it out because he wasn't for sure yet. So back in October, after Diddy was convicted and sentenced, he basically sold his private jet. Now, the cost of the private jet, or what it's going for now, is between $15 to $20 million, but we don't absolutely know how much he sold it for. But I was told back then that he actually sold it because he had to settle a big lawsuit, right? Another big lawsuit with another accuser. Now, this particular accuser has not been identified, but this was something that took place on the back end of all of these allegations that were lodged against Diddy at the time, and still are. Now, I will say that this is alleged information because, hey, we don't figuratively know if this is a definite or not, but at the end of the day, this was communicated to me back in November. Now, the details of this jet goes as follow. I'm pretty sure that some of you guys have already seen it, but it was a black G5. It came with all the bells and the whistles. It was also pet friendly too. Now, it was managed by Silver Air Private Jets, and they've recently come out and confirmed that they no longer manage this jet, and it's actually been registered to someone that's living in San Marino. Now, let me just say this. I'm pretty sure that there's some situations that's going down with Diddy right now where he's trying to save finances, move finances here, move finances there. But I just can't imagine him being broke, right? I understand that he's not the billionaire that he once was. And even though I've been told that he sold the jet to recoup finances to help with another legal matter that was on the cusp of actually coming to the light and being exposed worldwide, I just personally think that there's something more to that. I'm just keeping it all the way real. Now, another thing that I want to bring to y'all's attention is the fact that we know that Trump just recently came out and said that he was not going to give Diddy a pardon. But now there are reports that are circulating that somebody within Diddy's camp actually passed down a letter from Diddy to give to Mike Tyson to pass on to Trump asking for a pardon. Let me go ahead and read you what they had to say about this. Insiders claim that Sean P. Diddy Combs gave his pardon letter to Mike Tyson to give to Donald Trump. Diddy, who is currently serving time in a federal prison after he was convicted of 2 counts of transportation to engage in P, has been hoping for a presidential pardon. Trump has confirmed that he received a letter from Diddy asking for a pardon, but did not specify where he got it from. Allegedly, Tyson was given the letter by someone in Diddy's inner circle. He was asked to give it to Trump when Tyson visited the White House back in November. Now, they did go on to confirm that the letter was hand-delivered by Tyson. Now, this is a very interesting dynamic given the friendship between Tyson and Trump, because if Tyson can't put a bug in Trump's ear to go ahead and give Diddy a pardon, not saying that he deserves it or whatever, but it just overwhelmingly concludes that Trump has a grudge and he's not budging because he felt like Diddy basically betrayed him when he thought that him and Diddy had a pretty cordial relationship throughout the years. Now, let me just say this because this could be a possibility too. I'm just going to keep it real here. Maybe Mike Tyson didn't say anything in Diddy's favor when he actually delivered the letter to Trump. You know what I'm saying? He may not have advocated for Diddy's release. He may just did something in good faith and passed the letter on or whatever. You just don't know what was said. But anyway, let's move along because this new Druski skit has everybody, not everybody, but a lot of church people in their feelings. They're upset because they feel like that this new skit, Druski is actually mocking God. So what I want to do right here is play you guys this clip, and then I'm going to come back and give you guys my opinion.
Am I the only one that didn't find that Druski video funny? Like, it's just something about how y'all make fun of Christianity but leave every other religion. Like, that's so weird to me. Y'all don't say nothing about nobody else, but when it comes to the church, y'all be ready to criticize and do the most. Do literally the most. I hate it. And that would have been anybody else that would have made that video. Y'all would have not found it funny because this Christian's up in the comments laughing. He's up there mocking. Yeah, and he's up there mocking God, and y'all just it's not funny.
One thing you can't do is play with God. You don't want to play with God. Playing with God is like playing with fire. Matter of fact, playing with God is worse than playing with fire. Okay, you got to draw the line in your comedian act. You got to draw that line. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to sell your soul for a joke or two, for a laugh or two. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful in what you do and what you say. I'll be petrified to get on stage and do some stuff like this, right? I'm saying TikTok, I don't know, some of y'all might not be religious, but I really feel like this man is making a mockery of God. What do you think? Me? I'm just staying out the way.
Druski did a skit about mega churches. Druski did a reenactment of how mega churches are. Not even just mega churches, but a lot of small churches too. And since I'm a Christian content creator, I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel about it. I don't feel no waste time. See, the only ones that's getting mad at what Druski did is the ones that attend churches like this and the ones that run churches like this. And me personally, I've been tired of the theatrics that a lot of mega churches and smaller churches do. Listen, it should be a separation from the church and the world. But you go in some of these churches, you can't even tell the difference between what you were doing in the streets and what you were doing in the world. Y'all saying that Druski is blaspheming the Lord. And he ain't blaspheming the Lord. He making a mockery of the people that are so-called upholding a standard for God. And he just really exposing the truth of the matter. We've been knowing for years that these folks been playing in our face in a lot of these churches. And a lot of people are tired of it. And I always wondered to myself, how is the great falling away going to happen? And it's ironic that the song that played first was Kurt Franklin. And I'm going to say what I got to say. I don't care about how nobody feel about it. When Kurt Franklin started giving us the type of music he was giving us, that's when you start seeing the church really lose its way. And you can argue with your mama and them, I don't care. But that's when you can see that the church started going out and adding and incorporating a little bit more of the real until now you can't even tell the difference. That's why you had them get mad at Glorilla for winning the doggone gospel award. Because you can't tell the difference. So who was what? So, with that being said, I ain't mad at Druski. Now I know that ain't the last skit he gonna do when it comes to the church. All I can tell you is if you attend a church like that, find you another one. Find your Bible-based church that ain't trying to be like the world, but trying to be more like Jesus. It is what it is.
And if you didn't like Druski's pastor sketch, your pastor might be the one spending all your money.
As somebody in the congregation asked why I'm wearing Christian Dior and Christian Louboutins. Because I'm a Christian and I walk in the blood of Jesus. Give him some praise. I'm a Christian first and I walk in the blood of Jesus. Give him some praise.
And y'all already knew this skit was going to come with some... I'm sorry, hold on. My God, this man is so funny. Okay, so you already knew this skit was going to come with some controversy. That's why I hate covering Druski, because I'm like, I got to be able to get through the news while also playing a skit because he's so funny. But the controversy has already come. And if you didn't know where he got this idea from, let me play you the original clip.
Question is this right here. Are you ready?
It's real. This is real.
Are you ready for his return? Amen. For his return.
Obviously, life imitates art, and this is where Druski got this skit from. This pastor had gone viral back in 2018 for flying into a lot of his sermons. But then the online controversy came when people were like, well, this pastor seems to be wasting the church's money because they could be doing other philanthropic stuff instead of having their pastors fly in. And of course, you know, the internet did not take that lightly. The Christian internet. Let's make that clear. It's just the crazy religious people who are saying this. You can pause to read this, but somebody said, you don't make jokes about God. It just shows how disrespectful and ungrateful you are. Blase Soise. And then this clip from somebody by the name of Taylor, all the way from Threads. She also said the same thing, that she had unfollowed Druski on Instagram. Poking fun at megachurches is common, but the video he produced did not sit right with my spirit. And you could just pause to read the rest of her statements. It would be hard to make fun of pastors if they didn't do cockamamie stuff like this. Literally flying into your church sermon when you know that 85% of your congregation comes there when they are in need is disrespectful to the congregation. And all Druski sketches do, all of them, literally all of them, we cover them all the time. He just highlights the hypocrisy of these viral moments that people have. So don't be mad at Druski. Be mad at pastors like this, wasting your literal money.
All right, so you guys just saw and heard all of that. And me personally, I don't see anything wrong with the skit. I think that Druski was spot on. I think that he was effective on the message that he was trying to convey. And it's the truth. You have pastors out here that are in it for the wrong reasons. And some of these pastors, with all of these theatrics and things of that nature that they bring to the church, it makes you think that they really want to perform at the Super Bowl or something. I mean, flying from the damn ceiling to the damn pulpit, that is ridiculous, looking like a damn fool. And at some of these churches, you have members that have invested their time and their money over the course of so many years, right? And if they fall on hard times and they need some type of financial assistance, the door gets shut in their face and you look outside and the pastor got a foreign out there in the parking lot. And so I've told you a long time ago, I just think it's really weird now to feel like you need to go to church to have another man or woman pray over you. Why can't you just fellowship in the comfort of your own home and give God the glory, right? You know, why can't you pray for yourself? Or better yet, why can't you and your family pray together, right? As a unit. Now, I don't want to hear the excuse that the pastor is anointed from God. What makes that particular pastor so anointed? Because they can speak in tongues well? Or the fact that they can quote scriptures from the Bible verbatim? I mean, most of us have the comprehension level to be able to do that alone. read the Bible, get an understanding for yourself. And just to think, there were people that went to the same church I went to back in the days, right, that would actually put bills on hold just to pay a certain amount of money in tithes, and then next week their ass at the payday loan trying to get a loan. And at the end of the very day, they was doing this for a pastor that was sleeping with a member of the choir, and of course the pastor was married, first lady, all in the pulpit every Sunday, every Wednesday, or whatever the case may be, ended up getting this woman pregnant inside the office, inside that very same church. Now, I want to preference my comments before I say this. I believe in God. Y'all know that my mom was a minister. I don't even have to give y'all the full rundown. For those of you who follow me tight, you know where I stand. But in the same breath, I truly feel that Christianity has been one of America's Achilles heel. And for my people specifically, I feel like Christianity, right, has crippled us and enslaved our minds to the point of no return. I'm telling you right now, because I just feel like it was a weapon to keep us in check, to keep us in line, and things of that nature. But again, I want to reiterate, I believe in God, but I just think that Christianity, there's certain parts of Christianity that have become a little bit too toxic. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments to let me know what you think about everything that I talked about during this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.
Tough News TV. We out.